Hi, it's Tuesday. It's the Commercial Real Estate Show. Boy, do we have an exciting show today. We're going to be learning about the 4 T's. Terminology, why traffic counts are important, TCEQ, and TXDOT. And if you don't know what those mean, you'll find out how you can make millions in real estate by knowing what they actually mean. So stay right tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batch Skip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifeonaire.
Hi, Shelby. It's so good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you too.
I know I missed you last week. I hope you had a good week in real estate.
I did. How about you?
Oh, good. I had the great opportunity. I was back in my home city, Omaha, Nebraska, and I had the great opportunity to go to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting.
Okay. How was that?
It was great. There were probably, I think they estimate maybe 40,000 people from around the world.
Oh, wow. Are you a shareholder in Berkshire Hathaway?
I am. They're B share. They have A
yes.
and B share. So I wish I had the A share when I lived in Omaha. I probably should have bought it way back when. But if you ever have the opportunity to go, you should go with me next year.
I would love to.
They have free tickets available. And it's just a great opportunity to attend his shareholders meeting. He actually speaks from like 8:45 until 3:45. He's 88 years old. Him and his business partner, Charlie Munger, who's 95 years old.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize he was that old.
I know, and he has so much energy. But it's a great way. They probably have maybe 75 booths set up of all the companies that Berkshire Hathaway own. Mm-hmm. So it's a great way to meet the CEOs. I was able to meet the CEO of Clayton Homes. They're doing a ton of development in Texas. So I wanted to talk to him about that.
Gosh.
And I had an opportunity, ran into Tim Cook. He's the CEO of Apple.
Yes.
So,
wow.
And, you know, you never know who you're going to run into those events. Berkshire Hathaway, I'm not sure if people realize, but they also are a big, you know, real estate company with their Berkshire, you know, residential. And they also own hundreds of car dealerships. So where I get my car, they actually own it. You know, they own that dealership in Frisco. They own probably 100 of those, at least, if you look up Berkshire Hathaway Automotive.
Really?
Right.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So anyways, it's a good opportunity to, you know, go meet a lot of the CEOs and meet people from around the world and all that. So
I would love to go with you next year.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
It's every May, so we'll
Every May.
definitely make it a point. So
maybe someone will give us each a gift of the Class A shares.
I know.
Berkshire
yeah.
A.
Definitely. I forgot what those are up to. What, 100,000 plus?
No, I want to say one share is that the last time I checked was 319. 319,000.
319,000. Yeah. A lot of wealthy people just off of one share of Berkshire Hathaway. So anyways, I wanted to follow up. We're at the beginning here. We're just going to follow up some stuff on what we've been doing. One thing that I always want to highly recommend when, you know, we meet with somebody like our guest last week, or any time that you're out and about, you know, you go visit that gas station. I just always wanted to throw out the idea of to get some thank you cards.
Okay, that's a great idea.
So
that's
just
smart.
It's even a good idea to keep them in your car, and then you have the address and fill it out, put a stamp, mail it.
Okay, because I sent him a follow-up email, a nice meeting you email, but I love handwriting letters anyways.
I know everybody always remembers getting mail. I love getting mail. I love getting thank you cards. So just do that. Nice. So just go get some, you know, wherever you got your new business cards from, and order some thank you cards.
That's good. That's good to know.
And I also wanted to really thank our viewers. We've been on, I think this is now our 4th episode of Mentoring Shelby. She's done such a great job. And I wanted to really thank the people out there that are viewing, because they've actually reached out.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
I know. They're learning from you, the questions you're asking. Good. They're getting their business cards. They're updating their LinkedIn. And they're also driving around in their community. So I actually had a couple guys reach out to me from Georgia. And it's so exciting because they took action. they've been,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to listen and to learn, but they finally took action. They've identified a property. They sent it to me. I, reviewed it online and went over, the next steps of what has to happen. And now we're about to make an offer.
Wait, that's great. All the way in Georgia? So we've got people watching all over the South?
Yes.
Wait, that's so cool.
I know.
So you put an offer in on the building?
We're about to.
You're about to.
So I'm walking him through the stage of, the letter of intent. And so I sent him a, copy of mine. He's going to be filling it out. So he's also learning. But he's been talking to the seller's rep on the price.
Okay.
So we have all that worked out. I think he's able to work out. Hopefully we're going to be able to put it under contract for 120 days. And then we have a separate agreement as far as our partnership that we talked about.
That's really cool.
I know.
I'm excited.
And then I have a lady from Brooklyn that called me, and she actually owns a building, and we found out she has substantial amount of equity in it, a few million. And so I gave her the guidelines of what she needs to do next. And so once she finds out the next step, we're going to be finding her next commercial real estate property to buy.
Wait, that's huge.
I know.
That's awesome.
And so then, just one more, another couple from Arizona, they went to go visit their local economic development director. And then they contacted me. They've been driving around their community, and they're so excited. So they're starting to identify property.
Wait, that's like really cool.
I know.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just thrilled that people are really taking action. Just one other guy I talked to him yesterday in Houston and found some great pad sites. And so we're looking at, 1 to 3 acres on the hard corner. He's already talked to the seller too from watching this show, which is so valuable.
Wait, look at all those people. Good
I
for
know.
y'all. Jeez.
I know. So that's all my bird dogs all over the country are doing good.
Well,
But we're here to help you.
No, but I'm like really excited that people are watching and they're listening and they're having success. That's really good success. This is our 4th show.
Yeah, so it's really all about, Propelio TV offers some great content, but you have to take action. I mean, you can just keep learning and scared and have the fear and all that, but unless you actually take action, like these people have been contacting me. First they contact me, they've already have the property, contact me, I can go over it just on the internet with them, walk them through it, why I like it, why I don't like it, are we ready to make an offer? And
That's
that.
so awesome.
I know.
That's really cool.
So today's show is going to be really good because we're going to go over, I'm excited because I know you're ready to find your second location.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I feel like our paths cross perfectly because I was thinking, lease. I can't own a building. I've got my money tied up in PowerFit, but the fact that I do have the option to perhaps get a building and have my own space and then lease out, that excites me so much.
I know.
That would be awesome. I think our paths, like I said, cross for a reason.
I know. I think it's great. I love fitness, and I would much rather see you buying and having equity in your first building than leasing it, and giving it to another landlord. I like landlords, but I'd rather be the landlord myself.
Yes, I agree.
And so as I say, everything is for sale, so we'll definitely find you, the right opportunity. I wanted to go over with you just so that we know kind of your criteria. We have people out here looking in Texas. They may also have a building for you. They may come across for sale. So I just wanted to go over some information. My company also represents national companies, and we've talked about that on a previous show, but they all have a requirement. So I just wanted to go over some of these so that you can also write them down of what your Power Fit. I was going through the brochure that you gave me, Power Fit, and I promised, I'm definitely going to come out there and do it.
You're going to love it.
It looks great.
I also envision you're going to help me grow it, and we're going to be Power Fit is going to be the soul cycle of power plates.
Oh, good.
And you're going to help me. Anyways, I'm excited.
Oh, good. I can't wait. So tell me again when you opened.
Our grand opening was April 6th. And then we had a soft opening at the very end of December.
So you're recent open.
Or a baby business.
Okay, well, good.
Yes.
I mean, I'm so glad. I mean, That takes a lot right there, just to take action. Everybody wants to
does.
open up their own location, but they always have the fear of losing money, of it might not going to do right. But I'm so glad you took action.
Thank you. I am some days too.
It definitely takes a lot of guts.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it definitely, but working for yourself has to be more rewarding.
Oh, yes, it's a totally different feeling.
So good. So I know we talked about having different streams of revenue in case the 2020 bubble comes up.
Yes.
So you may want to have real estate, have your income coming in from your location. But I just wanted to go over with you what some of the national retailers, we're having our big International Council of Shopping Centers next week in Las Vegas is our national conference where almost all of the national retailers will be there. But you'll be able to get, a lot of these different brochures that they all pass out at their tables, from 7-Eleven to Starbucks to McDonald's to Walmart. They're all actually there. But I just wanted to go over some of the criteria as an example of what you need to consider when you're looking for your new space.
Okay.
But they have, so for their site requirements, you need to find out, this is for La Madeleine, and this is for a lot of casual diners, but they need a population of at least 100,000 people within 3-mile radius. And they're really probably like you to a degree, but they're really, because they're more breakfast, lunch, their daytime employment has to be at least 75,000 people within a 3-mile radius. The traffic counts are in excess of 25,000 cars, and on all of these, that's the requirement for a lot of national tenants, is to have at least 25,000 cars going by. And later on in the segment, we'll also go on TXDOT, so I can show you how to find the traffic counts on all those.
Okay, great.
And then the median income for La Madeleine is $65,000 with a 3-mile radius. Their target age is probably similar to yours, 25 to 54 or older. 35% or more with a college degree, 60% or more daytime employment in white-collar positions. So all these retailers really have it pinpoint exactly who their ideal client is.
Okay, they've got the demographics down to, like you were saying, household income or disposable income. Okay.
So that's what I'll have you do for your homework. Really identify your demographics.
Okay.
And then I just pulled up, for example, Party City. I just read Party City is having to close stores because there's a helium shortage.
What?
Right.
No, that's
yes.
No.
Yes.
They're close.
They're like 45 stores because helium is a shortage, which who knew?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a natural element. We're depleting the earth.
I know. I know. So you really, you wouldn't even think about that coming up.
So I'm guessing the majority of their sales are then balloons if they're shutting 45 stores down.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And so it's amazing, but they require also 100,000 people in a 5-mile radius, 2.7 household, and their demographic, 0 to 14 years of age, has to be more than 20%.
That makes sense.
And then they tell you their requirements. And then another one, 7-Eleven, which is their characteristics. They also require 25 cars, but they have it completely down. So that's what we'll need for you to do now that you've been open for a couple months.
Okay.
Find out exactly, who it is. Is it female? Age demographics, what they look like, where they shop.
Okay.
Because you may get more clients if they're shopping at Nordstrom's, or are they the Target mom, or where they're coming from.
So I have certain demographic breakdowns, but how would I specify, how would I go about doing that? Just like you were saying, go to the TXDOT and figure that out within my radius?
For the traffic counts?
Well, the traffic counts, yeah, but what's the other way that I would figure all that out without looking it up? Like, is there a formula that I can do?
Well, I'll show you either online or through the city on what that.
Okay.
Really, basically, I would always say the higher the traffic counts, obviously the more people.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot more people passing by your store all day long.
Exactly.
Operation.
Okay.
So I would write down exactly who your clientele is, and then start marketing. We'll start marketing that. And so once we know exactly what you're looking for, we'll start identifying if you need to be, your second location. Knowing where your trainers currently live. Are they able to train, go to other locations? Are your current customers requesting? I sure wish you had a location in Arlington. or you wish you had a location in South Lake, you know, or where they want to be, start asking your customers.
Yeah, I've had a few people ask when I was going to get a location in Dallas.
Okay.
And I figure Dallas is very expensive, but I was looking up the demographics the other day because I was looking in certain parts where they had the highest household income. And so it's obviously uptown where everything's so expensive. But people have money there and they'll spend it.
Right. So your fitness. I wanted to show you, I pulled up what we typically do when we represent tenants. But I hire a company. There's a company that does all of my mapping for me when we're identifying tenants.
Okay.
And so on this map, we've actually identified, here's your current location right here in Fort Worth.
Okay.
And I've had him place on here all of the Orange Theories, because I think
that's so cool.
Because I think Orange Theory is probably your same demographics, correct? The same kind of probably majority, 80% female, 20% men possibly. But all the orange dots are all the Orange Theory that popped up. And so, and then we also have the Lifetime Fitness and the 24-hour fitness. But if you're looking for space, this is always a good thing to do, is to have a company provide all of the demographics for you.
Okay.
This is showing actual household income up here on the corner. And the dark green is the highest. And you can see where Orange Theory has kind of geared towards a lot of the dark green areas. But this will really help us, you know, be able to find your next second location. And I know a lot of retail tenants, they will follow another tenant that they like, another fitness group that they like a lot. And
I would think SoulCycle would be a really good one to follow because it's a little bit more niche. And that's the brand that I'm wanting to. I think it's an awesome brand, and I want to build PowerFit's brand eventually to something similar to SoulCycle.
Yeah. And so it's always, I would always advise, if you haven't already done that, take a couple classes at each one of those locations and find out, because I know they have two. I've been to the one down in Uptown. And so I've been to that location and or West End, right? Or the West.
Okay, to Orange
West
Theory?
Village. No, to SoulCycle.
Yeah, SoulCycle is awesome.
And just kind of start asking them some questions of, you know, which, is this location better than your other location, or which one do you have more people? And then you can, you know, kind of talk to them about that. But this will be a really good way to start looking for your second location on that, because I know one thing that you really have, you know, talking about rent to revenue, have to really knowing what you're going to be making every year, because you want to be able to base it off of the retail operation. Typically when you're renting, so you're renting now, but it would be about 5 to 10% of what you're paying for your rent would be per your income. So I just did, so if you're, you know, if you're paying $3,000 a month, that's $36,000. So 10%, you should be making $360,000 in revenue.
Okay, that makes sense. If I'm at 100% occupancy, I could show you my spreadsheet. It would be doable, but we're not there yet. Getting there, but
so just knowing,
that's a good
so it's kind of more in fitness, maybe a little bit higher. So it could be higher than the 10%, but typically you don't want your rent to be more than 8 to 10% of your overall sales. So that's the kind of building. So I kind of figured, you know, if you're paying that current rent right now, that's about the price of the building that we want to go try to find, like about a $300,000 building for you to go buy. That would be comparable probably to, you know, what your sales are. So that'll be our goal, to, you know, get on LoopNet and start driving around. Once we know your target client, and then we'll start going out there looking for some buildings.
Good. I'm really excited.
Oh, good. Well, I hope, do you have any questions before we take a quick break here?
I think I'm good. I'm soaking it all in right now.
Oh, good. I'm so excited that we're going to be able to find you your second location.
Me too.
And start building real estate wealth. But we're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about commercial real estate terminology, and we're also going to talk about TXDOT, how valuable that can be as a resource. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The
Propelio Academy, an all-in-one education resource for training in wholesales, subject to wraps, short sales, flips, rentals, BRRRR, property management, and more. Go to Propelio.com/academy to get your scholarship today. Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
Hi, welcome back. We are so excited. I know throwing out all this commercial real estate terminology, it can kind of get boggling, right, Shelby? So I just want to go over some of the main words with Shelby right now that we think is really, really important. So I've asked her to be at the whiteboard so that I always think you learn a lot better if you actually write it down than me writing. So just wanted to go over some of the main terminology, but a lot of terminology that people always talk about. It seems like real estate is cap rate.
Yes.
So when we're talking about cap rate, I always think of it as, it's, you always want to buy high and sell low. So the cap rate is the net operating income, and that's after all expenses, divided by the property price.
Wait, you said cap rate, buy high?
Sell low.
Well, shouldn't
Sell
it be
low.
buy low, sell high?
No.
Oh, okay.
You want to buy at a high cap rate.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see what, okay, gotcha.
And you want to sell at a low cap rate.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay. And so you want to take the net operating income, the NOI.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a deal with one of the McDonald's or Chick-fil-A deals, and it's $100,000. We're going to divide it by $1 million, and that's going to give us a 10% return.
I guess I should have wrote M.
So,
Oh, sorry.
but actually, so the cap rate to me, it's really, instead of getting 2% in your bank, if you have, in your bank account getting 2%, your cap rate means you're going to be making 10% on your property.
Okay, gotcha.
So it took me a while when I first got into real estate because I couldn't quite understand that until somebody said, do you want to make 2% on your money, or do you want to make 10%?
Yeah, it's 10%.
Right, so that's why you always want to buy high at a high cap rate.
Okay.
That's why, like, when a lot of buyers are looking to buy, they're always asking for something in the $8 to $12 cap rates.
Yes.
And so then you want to be able to sell low.
Okay, good deal.
And then triple net charges, NNN charges, is one that's always talked about, especially, well, it is when you're leasing a space. So I'm sure you're familiar with that at your current location.
Yes, I am. I'm paying, I believe it's $6.50 per square foot triple net.
So that's probably low compared to what a lot of people are paying now. But the triple net stand for, they're the 3 net leases for your net real estate taxes.
I hope people can read my boy writing.
That looks good. And then it's the net building insurance. And then the net common area maintenance. So that's when they talk about triple net charges on your lease, you'll have to pay your rent per square foot. So that may be $28 a square foot. And then you'll have these additional charges that your landlord is charging you, an additional. And nowadays, with the property taxes going up so high, they can really range from $6.50 an extra square foot all the way up to, I've seen them as high as $15 a square foot.
I saw one in Dallas, I believe it was like, the triple nets were $19 a square. It was unreal.
Wow. So they can definitely really throw off your pro forma when you're doing that. And then a lot of times you'll see a double net. So just, NN charges. And so that includes, again, your property taxes and your building insurance that the landlord is paying and back charging you. But the
property
reason,
tax and sorry, what else?
so it's your property taxes and building insurance. And so when you see a double charge like that, it means the landlord is typically, that means they're typically paying for structural and the roof, if anything happens there.
Okay.
So that's when you're buying that property, what that means, that the landlord's paying that. So you definitely want to ask those questions if it's a triple net or a double net.
Okay.
If it's being charged.
Okay. Are there specific instances, because I know all the properties I looked at were triple net, so when would it be like, when would it be a double net? Like, is there a specific...
Yeah, most of the time it's when you have a single building.
Okay.
And
okay.
so you're buying, for example, you're buying like a Texas car title or a single building, one building on its own.
Okay, and that's a double
Some
net.
of the Dollar Generals, for example, those will be a double net lease that you're buying as an investment.
Okay.
And that means the landlord's responsible for paying the roof and structure.
Okay.
So, and then another important one is the letter of intent, the LOI. When you're submitting, that's what we'll be submitting for when we're ready to buy your property.
Yes.
And I've learned you always want to make sure that on the top of your letter of intent that it always has non-binding at the top of it. So instead of letter of intent.
I'm just going to put this right
so
here
make sure
in
it says non-binding at the very top just to keep you out of any legal on that basis, even for a letter of intent.
Yeah.
So just, if you want to spell that out, letter of intent.
Oh, okay.
But that's when you're always submitting an offer to the seller or to the landlord before you go for the purchase contract.
Yes.
And then one that I always highly recommend, even if you're leasing space like yourself, and I'll tell my clients when I'm representing them, when you're leasing, you always want to have in the lease the first right of refusal.
Oh, okay.
So the first right. And so that means, Shelby, when you're leasing your space, let's say you're in a building and you have, I'm not sure what building you're in, but if you're in a building and there's yourself and two other tenants and you're leasing it, you want to make sure you have in the lease that you let the landlord know that if he or she ever plans on selling the building, you have the first right to be able to have an offer to buy it.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
So you can always end up, because it seems like eventually they always end up selling it anyway. So if you're, the tenant in it, you want to make sure that you have that language in your lease. And some will put it and some won't. They're like, no, I'll never plan on selling it. But if they will, make sure it's always included in your lease.
Okay, that's really smart. I like that, but I didn't know that. This is a key. So you always want to do that in a lease if you can.
Right. And I would recommend, if anybody's like yourself, if you're leasing space now, unless it's a gigantic shopping center and you'll never buy it, but if it was a building, you could go back right now, even if your lease was executed, you could go back right now and ask the landlord to add that language in there under an amendment.
Sorry. Oh, I don't think the girls will sell. They're powerhouses, but that's good to know. I would have never known that I could do that.
So what kind of building are you in now? Is it a large shopping center? Or
it's a smaller retail center. I'm in the same building with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other businesses, I believe. So it's smaller. It's mid-size. It's over in the Foundry District in Fort Worth.
Oh, good. We'll definitely come out there. But you may want to talk to your landlord.
Okay.
And just put it in email writing to document it. Just say, I'm thinking about doing a first right of refusal. I know you may not ever sell the building, but if you do, I'd like, the first right of refusal on it.
So what happens if somebody else has already submitted that? Do you just go in line? Like, let's say you submitted it first. It would be you, and then if you offered or you changed your mind, then it would go to me, so there could be a list.
Right, and some of them, from my understanding, will take the best offer, the one with the best offer that the landlord will take.
Yeah.
To give them whoever submitted the highest offer on it.
Okay. I'm also wondering too, the only way to do that is to lease from that person prior. Like, there's no way to do a first right of refusal, like just piece of paper to like someone that you're not leasing from. Does that make sense? Like, if I found an older man that I knew wasn't ready to sell yet, but I was like, okay, I know you're going to want to sell one day. Can I go ahead and write up first right of refusal, like a contract, and have him sign it?
No, in that case, you would just have a purchase contract ready to go.
Okay.
And ready to sign.
Could you predate it, or how would that?
Right, you could just change it when he's ready to sign it.
Okay.
At least he'd know you were serious, or you had you submitted the non-binding letter of intent to him or her, whoever owned the property.
Okay.
And then just let them know that you can submit the contract.
Okay.
Yeah, you can submit a letter of intent, non-binding letter of intent on any property, a purchase contract on anything. It just is a matter of time. It just takes your time to fill it out.
Okay.
And nothing is finalized until it's executed in an escrow.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's some of the main.
Yes.
I know we also wanted to go over pro forma.
Yes.
So
stay up here, sit.
now I was going to show you that online.
Okay.
I know you asked about a pro forma because
Yes.
and a pro forma is something that just do a quick pro forma, and we'll do this when we find one of your buildings. But this is a building that I was looking at in Sherman, Texas. It's just a simple pro forma. But I plugged in here pad site of a building. It was $2,864. If I was able to get that rent, $60,000 a year. Let's see. I think I was looking to buy it at $350,000. So this would be similar to you, and at almost $15 a square foot for rent, what you would be paying. And then if you ever wanted to sell it, these are some of the profits you would be able to make.
That's really cool. So did you build this sheet in Excel, or did someone build it for you? Because this is great.
Yeah.
You can just plug in numbers, right? Oh, I love Excel.
So someone did, they did build it for me, but it's really handy. So this is also a great tool for if you're representing someone looking to buy land or to buy a building. I do this for a lot of my clients. I fill out this quick pro forma.
Okay.
I had a client that last year bought 4 acres of land, and I did a pro forma on him, what it would look like. We did a quick site plan showing the profit. And so once he saw that, he wanted to close on the property right away, knowing the return he could make off that.
Once you see the numbers, I know Excel's great. I love Excel.
So in your case, this would be almost, how much square footage do you need?
Well, right now I've got 933 square feet. So I could go as low as probably 700. However, I would like to go a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So I would say 1,500 would be enough.
Okay.
But, I mean, buying a building, like you said, I guess I could, chop it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the ideal thing would be is to buy a little bit larger building and then lease out the rest.
Yeah.
And have the tenant, hopefully the other tenants are paying your debt for you to be, that you're in that space for free.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I would buy a building that already has tenants in it?
Well, either that or it could be vacant.
Okay.
But you could buy the whole building, or it would all be vacant, and we would put your location and maybe one or two.
I like that, and I could curate different companies that I thought were in alignment with my brand.
That's what's
That'd
nice
be really
about
fun.
Yeah, that's what's nice about being the landlord. You can have your smoothie shop or something that.
Yes.
And leasing that to them, and then someone
I could
else.
take those few businesses, and we could just go as like a little happy family all throughout the country.
And that's what people do in real estate development. Okay. You'll see several of the same ones. Take tenants like that, exactly what you said, and then just cookie cutter that all over.
That makes
sense. And then, you three could team up and have this little real estate empire.
Yes, please. I'm down.
Did you have any, so this pro forma, it's really nice because you're able just to plug in the numbers and change this, and it automatically equates. And up here is the different cap rates when you sell it. So based off of, I'll show you, I'm probably talking too fast, but out of all of the numbers that add up here to your total project cost after you plug in everything, all these costs, due diligence cost in here, marketing, what you paid for the land, it all came to $398. And so that see here it is right here, $398, the total capitalization of what you need. And if you're able to if you're charging $60,000 in rent, by selling it at an 8 cap, at the sales price is $750, you would profit $351,000.
Oh, wow.
And that's off one tenant.
Buy high, sell low.
Right. So if you had more of maybe up here in the 4 cap for this vacant, it was a vacant KFC building. If you had McDonald's leasing that space, you would sell it up. You would profit $1,101,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this was just a little vacant KFC I found in Sherman, Texas.
Yeah, it was small, 2,400 square feet.
Yeah.
So
the nice thing is the seller let me put it under contract for only $500. I know.
Oh my gosh.
So don't be afraid to, go out there and talk to sellers when it comes to putting property down. Some of them will take $500.
So can I ask questions about the different, will you scroll back down, or I guess up? Contingency, what is the $25,000 contingency? What is that mean?
Just in case I missed, it's just an extra allowance.
Okay.
In case I didn't plug in any money for building cost in here.
So is that almost like miscellaneous?
Yep.
Okay.
And I always have it down here in my soft cost too. I added $5,000 just in case my legal was $2,500. It'll be covered under the contingency.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if you don't have specific breakdowns, it's kind of, okay.
It's kind of
Overall
an extra cushion for you to plug in a contingency. And most of these are typically always filled out as far as doing all of your due diligence, to calculate the number on all that appraisal.
That's really awesome.
But yeah, we'll definitely, once we find a building for you, we'll be able to plug in all of these costs so that you know what you can actually afford every month.
Yes.
And then if you're ever ready to sell it, it'll automatically show you the cap rate. And you'll be at a little bit higher cap rate just because you're not a national tenant and there's a lot into it. But if you do a sell leaseback. But that'll come a lot later when we have your 10th store.
Yes.
When you have all those yellow dots all over, power fit all over that fitness map.
I like that. I love that.
So the performance is really good, and so that's some of the basic, there's so much commercial real estate, and I'm still learning a lot of the language too, even after 30 years with the language, and it's always best to look it up, Google it, watch a YouTube video on it, or just ask someone and hope that they know. Or the best person is I always refer back to my real estate attorney if I have to.
Okay, that's smart.
On language, because I don't want to have to deal with that.
No, I don't blame you.
I just really want to know the bottom line of what things cost.
That's all that matters, right? The bottom line.
So I didn't know if you had any other terminology. I mean, it's best, like we've always said, just take classes and start learning from people or just ask.
Okay, perfect.
So, but I think we've kind of gone over some of the basic ones that you always hear when you're, especially the letter of intent when you're ready to start making offers, and then the purchase contract and all that, all the formats on that. So, but we're going to take a break, another quick break, but it's going to be really, really exciting because we are going to go over TXDOT, which is the Texas Department of Transportation. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but it is a wealth of information if you're not on their website and using it. But we're going to go over traffic counts, how to find available properties, road construction and why it's so important when you're doing real estate, how to find those hidden opportunities. And so we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
The Propelio Academy, an all-in-one education resource for training in wholesales, subject to wraps, short sales, flips, rentals, BRRRR, property management, and more. Go to Propelio.com/academy to get your scholarship today. Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
Welcome back. While Pam is looking up TXDOT, she's looking up TXDOT, but welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We are going to go over how important TXDOT can be in order to find traffic counts.
Yeah, it's such a great information, but definitely, and this is for all states throughout, the U.S., that they all have their Department of Transportation, but it's really, really important when you're investing in real estate. So right now we're on the website, the Texas Department of Transportation, and in the past, as far as doing pad site development, how important it is, I spent a lot of time at the TXDOT local offices or wherever I was doing work. But for example, we were working on a project in Tyler, Texas.
Yes. And
meeting with the TXDOT office, we had no idea. Well, they talk about road construction, access drives. If you need an access drives, a lot of time with a TXDOT, they'll only give you, that's the biggest thing on developing property is knowing where your access drives are going to be.
Okay.
And the first person you want to contact, either your civil engineer can do this for you, or I like to go on TXDOT website also, but contacting that TXDOT office, because it all deals with speed and miles per hour on how many access drives they will allow on your parcel. And sometimes you'll see one over here and you're like, how come this pad site to get into this location doesn't have an access drive?
Okay, is that what you see when they have those little bitty rubber things in the road? And it's got, is that for traffic count to see? Those like little long skinny rubber things and it's got like a box in a box?
Yeah, probably. Crossing the road, yes, right. Yes. That's for doing traffic counts.
Okay, gotcha.
But TXDOT is the one that takes care of all of those on all those state roads.
Okay.
That you want to identify with.
Okay.
But if you're ever wanting to know where, example for the access drives, because I was working with one national tenant, if you were going 45 miles an hour past that pad site, they would not go there because it was too fast. They want it to be a 30 mile an hour.
Okay.
That. So all of even those retail tenants know per miles per hour. If your cars are going by too fast, they're not going to stop unless all that. So I wanted to go on the website, the Texas Department of Transportation, and they have a great location. They have all of the information as far as where you find the traffic counts. But another major thing is, let me just find it here, which I had. The biggest thing is finding out where the road construction is going to be.
Oh, okay.
And so I have to find it on here, but we had so for example, by me, they decided to build 6 lanes, and before that the property would never sell. But finding out that the TXDOT now is building on an extra couple lanes on each one, the property value skyrocketed.
Okay, because more developers, big commercial can come in.
Right, and they're expecting a lot of growth to be happening.
Okay, and this is where you live?
Right.
Oh, nice.
And so nobody, that land you couldn't even give away, but once that road was almost completed, one of my investors ended up buying the property, and as the road was just being finished, we also received another offer for like $500,000 higher just to buy the property because of that road construction. They knew that now that it was completed, the values went up. So the thing is, try to buy the property before. And that's what TXDOT.
Ooh.
That's what TXDOT shows is all of the road opportunities as far as.
That's great. That's such a little trick. And you buy it, and then they do the roads, and then you've just sat on it for however long they took to build the roads, and then. Oh.
Yeah, it didn't even have to be that long, but I cannot believe I had it on here as far as. But TXDOT actually shows you all of their.
Wait, I think you went down to the bottom. I saw it at purple. Right there, real estate management development.
I have this. I'll show you this now until I want to show you really on TXDOT how it shows all of the road construction happening all over Texas.
Okay.
And it tells you what's happening now, what's happening in the next 4 to 5 years, and in 10 years. So you'll know if you either want to buy property or not buy property, depending on the road construction. But this is a good one right here under the business. You can go down to the real estate management and development.
Okay.
And it's also, you may also drive by property that was probably taken for the right-of-way,
Okay.
or you'll see a pad site. So any of the Department of Transportations throughout the entire United States all have listings for available property. So here we have 2 in El Paso, 2 in Austin, 1 in Dallas, 2 in West Texas, 3 in other properties. So we'll go down to the one in Dallas here. And here it is in McKinney, which this would be a good location for you. And they have 1.42 acres available, and here it is.
Oh, okay.
And to me, that looks like a good piece of property.
Well, let's get it.
I
Is
know.
there a price on there?
No, so I've called the broker. It's 1.42 acres, but doesn't that look like prime property? It's in front of a Kohl's, Albertsons,
That is definitely
Wendy's. So to me, it looks like a perfect pad site that you probably see that grass, like as you're driving in front of, and you think that the highway's going to have future, or sometimes it just looks like too much land. And you're like that, you know, typically that's right-of-way space, but now TXDOT has decided that this right-of-way, they've decided to sell it.
Okay.
And so it looks like, so I've contacted the broker from CBRE, and he just sent me information on it.
Why did, so it's the city that owns it, or the state that owns it?
Right, TXDOT.
So why did they choose CBRE? Why didn't they choose you? Because you're a minority-owned business. They chose like a huge business.
Yeah, probably because they're one of the largest in the world.
I know, but that's why
I
you
know,
gotta
I need
support
to-
small business.
That's a good question. I need to go find out. I need to call the lady at TXDOT.
Yes.
So here, we'll go back to here. So down here, the property sales, here's
Okay.
their phone number right here.
Yeah, CBRE is so big. They should use you.
But anyway, so yeah, you can go look up a couple properties. I saw there's a couple good properties in Austin. But just go on your local Department of Transportation and start looking at some of these properties. There's definitely some good hidden opportunities on that.
This is in, oh, okay. Oh, that is very pricey. But
Yeah.
it's Travis County?
So 7.7 million for 3.39 acres. But I never look at the price. I always kind of look at to see what I could put on the 3.39 acres. It might be obviously prime property at that rate and where it is. And it looks like vertical mixed use zoning. So they'll probably go pretty high up for office or multifamily.
Oh, okay.
And so you'd have to do your pro forma to see the highest profitable return on that, you know, plugging in that 7.7 million and finding out with all your other expenses, you know, what you can do with it.
Oh, this is so fun.
Yeah, so it's fun to look at some of these different, you know, opportunities of where they are, just to go on TXDOT's homepage and find out all the information. Like I said, they're really valuable as far as they have a ton of information when you're looking at property. And I need to, here it is right here, the project tracker. It's View Highway Project. So when you're buying real estate, you really want to go on this website because it really shows you, watch all this, especially being in Dallas area, it seems like everything is under construction, but look at this map. It's showing you the construction underway. I'll zoom in here. So here we are in Arlington, but it'll show you the construction underway or begins soon in red, and then it has the construction begins within 4 years. So here's a chunk right here.
This is so awesome.
And then the construction in 5 to 10 years is in green. And the reason this is so important to look this up, and you can have other people do, but I always do it myself to really look to find out what's going on. But I know over in recently in the Grapevine, if you've been out there to Grapevine Outlet Center, they've been adding on all of those additional roads going.
Oh, okay.
And so it really impacted all of those restaurants on the frontage road out there, and several of them closed.
Oh.
So if you're representing a tenant, or if you wanted to, you know, buy something out in that location, you know, you would definitely want to look this up first to find out, to see if, right here, if it's going to be impacting you. This was all along 114 right here.
Okay.
Going in by, where am I? Right here, 121. Right in front of Grapevine Mills, where that's construction, all of that construction. But it's a really good resource for buying property, selling property, knowing, you know, what's coming ahead of time. A lot of people, you know, the TXDOT's buying right away if they're coming in that direction. If it's moving north, a lot of property owners became very wealthy by knowing where they were going to be building and taking that right away.
Oh, okay.
But it's,
how often do they update it? For instance, let's say construction 5 to 10 years, or corridor studies construction in 10 plus years. When does that change? I mean, how often does that change? Because they may guess that a certain area is going to grow rapidly, and then there's something in the water, you know what I'm saying, and something happens. So how often do they update? Yeah,
that's a good question, but here it says, well, right here, last updated, 5/14.
Okay.
Today. And then today,
Awesome.
Today's the 14th, right?
Yes.
Estimated complete. You know, I just clicked on that map, that road right there, and it popped up how much it's going to cost. Last updated, all of the information, what Dallas district, who to call.
That's so cool.
And has all the information on that. So even if you live in a neighborhood and you want to find out what's going on in your neighborhood as far as all the road construction, look at this. It's all, they have every detail, and it tells you all of their estimated cost, how many projects over here to the summary, you know, a lot of information.
Construction beginning in 5 to 10 years. Oh, do you see how large that number is?
A lot.
With those are taxpayer dollars?
Well, with all the people moving to Texas, they're having to widen them and know that. So if you're building multifamily or townhomes, or, you know, wanting to buy a property, you might want to know what's happening in the construction.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money being spent on roads for sure in Texas. But the other thing we talked about, how important it is finding all of the traffic counts. And this is the TXDOT updates them, you know, periodically. Let's see, I have to go. But they're a great resource on finding. Let me just find it here quickly. Do you have any questions about TXDOT? Are you surprised?
I can't believe all this information is shared, and I would have never, ever, ever thought to venture on TXDOT. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit sad that you're giving this information away. It's a hidden gem.
I know. I even looked this up several times.
The best laid plans often go awry.
Where did I?
You're looking for traffic count. Can you go to the top and type in traffic count?
Oh yeah, that's what I did. You're so smart. See what I did?
You need me.
That's right. That's why I couldn't find it. That's where I looked for it before. I typed it in the search.
I could sing a song. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, such a fake laugh.
So here we go. So I'll pull up the last time TXDOT did it was in 2017 for all the traffic counts.
So do they do it every, I'm guessing, 3 years? It seems a little pricey to do all the time.
Yeah, it seems like at least once a year they do it. But depending on what, let's see. But as we talked about, it's really important as far as...
Sorry.
I'm making it dizzy.
Yeah, I know.
So anyways, just Google or search the traffic, and on here we'll list all of the traffic counts that they've identified. So right here in Arlington, you can see on I-20 right here at this corner of I-20.
Okay.
Where am I? I-20 and right here has 194,000.
Okay.
The traffic count on that. And if it's a state highway, that's where they're getting the traffic counts.
Okay.
And so if you're buying land over here and you want to do one of the national tenants, you want to make sure most of them do require 25,000 cars or more.
Okay.
So you can just kind of zoom in here. And
Okay.
they have all of, the major intersections as far as the traffic counts of where to go.
Okay.
And so that's why TXDOT has a lot of information on their website. It's kind of fun to look around and see.
Kind of look and see what the traffic count is in front of my studio
Sure.
now. Yeah, so it's over Westover. This is so cool.
Because you're here?
It's somewhere in there. Yeah, I think it's still up a little bit. Oh, I think it may be over. I don't know the exact latitude and longitude.
There's 820. You could probably, I guess, search and type an address in, but.
That's so cool, though. I'm going to have to play with that later.
But yeah, they have a lot of really, really good information as far as traffic counts. And so a lot of your, if you're representing tenants, that's the main thing that they want to know is what the traffic counts are.
Okay.
Another great way that I find out, if I know there's a shopping center in that area, I'll go pull it off that broker's flyer and also find those traffic counts. It's also an easy way, for demographics. Or the guy that I hired for the mapping for all your fitness centers, he can put all the fitness on there and any other, like if we wanted to put all the main grocery stores. I mean, we can just keep adding more and more demographics.
That's really cool. So I could look up, natural grocery stores or,
Once we know who your client is, we can add that onto the map.
Okay.
And add that information.
Okay.
And then, so that's how you find the traffic counts under transportation maps. But they have a lot of information. So.
That's awesome.
All right. Anything else about TXDOT? But yeah, definitely get on their website because they will help you with, like I said, when you're developing projects, that they really want to help you with access drives. They're the ones to go to. Turning lanes. We had one project that everybody wanted to add a right-hand turn lane. Adding that. We found out TXDOT was adding a median in the middle of, the divider highway and how that was going to impact our tenants because now they weren't going to be able to make a left-hand turn.
Okay.
And so, because the tenant, they said if you have a median, we're not going in that location. Because going south then, not able to take a left, would really impact their business.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of this.
Yep.
This is very helpful.
So access drives, right-hand turns. So when you're driving around now, kind of start noticing how many access drives are into that. If you're shopping at a Walgreens or anywhere you're shopping, kind of start looking at where they place the access drives.
Okay.
And how many or how few there are.
Okay.
And speed limits and road construction and how much that impacts.
Yeah, the speed limits. That was interesting.
And how much, there's so much of the road. That's why, to me, having a civil engineer to go over a lot of this information. But if you're planning on developing property, you really need to know some of this, the TXDOT on this. So, but we're going to take another quick break. We are going after this. I hope the TXDOT helped you, but definitely it's throughout all the Department of Transportation. So if you're in Georgia, New York, my guys, New York, my new friends in Arizona, go on your local Department of Transportation, find out what property they have, find out who your local person is, and just go meet with them and, get to know those engineers on it. Go on their website, start looking at traffic counts, what's happening on the road construction, so you're really, really knowledgeable about that. And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out about TCEQ, what that stands for, and how you can make millions of dollars knowing what it is. We'll be right back.
The Propelio Academy, an all-in-one education resource for training in wholesales, subject to wraps, short sales, flips, rentals, BRRRR, property management, and more. Go to Propelio.com/academy to get your scholarship today. Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
Welcome back.
Hi, we're back. We are finishing up. We have to finish this up and head over to the Propelio event tonight.
Yes, it's in Grapevine, and I think there's more information on the page if y'all want to join us. It's a big real estate gathering.
But Shelby and I will definitely be there, so we hope that you can attend tonight. It's a free event.
And we're signing autographs.
We're signing autographs, yeah. Sign up. So we're going to finish here, but one other thing we wanted to teach you about as far as developing, and something if you're developing or in real estate that you definitely want to know about, is the TCEQ, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So, and there's a government agency that deals with the air, land, water, licenses, permits, reporting. Great information on their website. For example, when we were developing Walgreens, we had a Walgreens, and we always do a soils test to make sure that nothing's contaminated.
Okay.
And this is the first time that I learned that a dry cleaners across the street was contaminating the Walgreens lot, or it was I don't even know what it was. Was it a gas station? We were going to build a Walgreens. It wasn't the gas station, but it turned out it was the dry cleaners across the street that was contaminating this lot, the water.
The water?
Yeah. So we had to add monitoring wells.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you never know when. That's why on every property that you do develop, you need to have a soils report to find out if there are any environmental concerns.
So if there's an environmental concern like that and I'm a fast food restaurant, that would probably be a big no. However, if I'm maybe a restaurant that doesn't require using the water to cook, then it would probably be okay.
Well, there's all kinds of different ways on contaminated projects to how to remediate it.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of different ways on how to add monitoring wells and different things. When we were developing the chilies, we had some, and where was it? Kansas, I think, it was a contaminated site that we had to overcome. But I mean, there's always different ways. You have to remediate that dirt.
Since the site was contaminated, but it was caused by the dry cleaner across the street, do they have to pay any of, no.
No.
So they're causing that pollution and they don't, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's your problem. So
Right.
I'm across the street polluting and it's,
Right.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we never did go after. We did have to hire an environmental attorney to help us with it. But I found a guy who used to work at the TCEQ as a consultant, because this is where I find a lot of really good opportunities for people don't want to touch an existing location of gas station because they think it's contaminated and it's too much work. But as a real estate developer, this is where you can really, really get some great opportunities if you know how to handle the, environmental, issues that may come up.
Okay.
So I always think, when somebody says, oh yeah, I see a gas station, but I looked it up and it looks like it has some storage tanks. They're like, I don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, I'm happy to, because I've dealt with it on several locations where it doesn't scare me at all.
Okay.
And it does take a little bit longer, but that's where you can get some great opportunities to look for those opportunities. But I wanted to go over, I'm sure you've been down to American Airlines in downtown Dallas.
I have.
Well, that was one of the largest brownfield sites around.
Don't know what Brownfield is.
So that's where it's a contaminated site that has the opportunity to, be reused and redeveloped. So I was doing some research on it, but that property was 72 acres, and they bought the land cheap it was a mile long, because you know how big it is, and they bought it for $12 million.
Yeah, for 72 acres?
Right. And I think American Airlines opened up in about 1999.
Okay, that sounds right.
So almost 20 years ago. So in that development, that's a project that nobody wanted to take on, and it's one of the most successful because now, as you know, what has been developed there?
Yeah. There's so many events there, concerts, everything.
So they own all that. They turned it into multifamily, W Hotel. All of that land is all now a billion, worth several billions for somebody wanting, to take that to work with the city. And if you go on, that's why I wanted to show you online here. You can actually go down here, but they have the information as far as where you can find all of the brownfields.
So what do they have to do in order to, what does that mean? It's contaminated, but with what? Is that just a general term?
Yep. Just a general term.
What's worse than a brownfield? Like if there's nuclear waste?
You'd be surprised of how many sites do have contamination and where they're located.
Oh, I want to see.
And so that's what's on, if I could find it. You would believe I researched this 100 times on finding out all the locations, but there's so many of them. Even an existing fire station will have a can be contaminated.
Okay.
I mean, it's typically your gas stations, your dry cleaners, and all of that. Hold on.
So let's say that I built a development on a brownfield. I would have to remedy that before I built on there, correct?
Correct.
So the city wouldn't permit until I fix that. And would I have to let future tenants know if it was previously a brownfield? Or is that something that once it's been remedied, you don't have to disclose?
Well, they will find that out when they are doing a lot of their due diligence, if they've done it correctly.
Okay.
That's been all, taken care of for you. Okay, I cannot believe I can. Seriously.
Search it again.
I did that.
Oh.
Wait, no, it was down in reporting. Let me go back to reporting. But I would say always just to get on your TXDOT to find out a lot of this information. You can also Google, go on any property.
Okay.
And it has, you just type down here by the facility site, any property that you're looking up. And so you can just type in the address right here.
So you could type in my address?
Well, if you had one, I mean, if you thought it could be contaminated, but if you go on here and if you typed in one of the 7-Elevens, let's see, I had, where am I going? It'll show you all the different 7-Elevens that have been reported to TCEQ.
Oh, wow.
And then it shows you, so they have a petroleum storage tank registration, and it's active through TCEQ. So it's a good way, no matter what address you have for a property that you plan on buying, that you want to look it up on TCEQ just to make sure, they'll list some of these storage tanks, what they have, or if they've been active or not. So that's an active one.
So active means obviously they're still pumping gas there.
Yeah.
But if it's inactive, it was previously.
Correct. So I wanted to go back to I'm going to find the brownfields, or any of the opportunities. That's what I really wanted to show you as far as the state map of Texas. It shows you every
brownfield. Are there a lot of brownfields?
Well, it shows you every single one that's kind of being investigated or opportunity. Okay. And a lot of these cities want these properties cleaned up. And so, for example, the city of Dallas, when they did American Airlines to clean up that brownfield, the developer got a lot of money on that.
Okay.
And so there's even small patches in every community around town here that they want it to be cleaned up. And so the government's giving grant money to help you develop, to clean it up, and to redevelop it.
So they're not having to do it, or they'll give you a tax incentive or something?
Yep.
That's awesome.
So that's another good hidden opportunity. So
that is hidden. Another one you just gave away.
I know like I mentioned before, a lot of people don't want to
do the work.
Right.
That's perfect. They don't have to.
Okay. That's so bizarre how I had it. Let me go back to always search. But it's a really good map as far as showing don't know how much time we... Do you have any other questions until I find
No,
it?
I can't wait to find PowerFit 2 property. I'm ready. Ready to get moving. Ready to just follow you around for like the next few months, just every day.
Oh,
shadow
good.
you to learn even more.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to find you your next location.
That'll be great.
I cannot believe I...
We'll find it.
How much time do we have?
5 minutes or so.
5 minutes or so?
5
Okay.
minutos. Any questions? Are we going to do
Yeah,
questions?
do we have any questions from the...
Preguntas? ¿Qué preguntas?
What are some resources that you would learn more about understanding how to analyze potential commercial real estate sites for a business?
As far as knowing what, just how to analyze them as far as...
Do you want me to look while you're answering the questions?
Yeah,
Maybe a
'cause-
second pair of eyes.
Yeah, because it just, it was right here showing up
Okay.
left on the Brownfield.
So she's taking your questions.
So how to analyze the property?
Yeah, any books or resources that would help in analyzing a commercial property?
Yeah, the organization, the CCIM, offers classes on how to analyze a property. As far as it takes, you know, they walk you through the steps as far as how to, you know, how much the land is and how to get the highest return and all of that. And then there's plenty of books on how to invest in commercial real estate, depending on what you want to invest in, multifamily or single tenant net lease deals. So just keep researching. I think that might be it.
Land data sets, water, land use, land cover.
I had it in, let's see. Oh, you know where I have to go?
Where?
I have to switch it to a different, I know exactly where it is now. The other resource is, this is where it is. Anyways, go to TCEQ for wealth of information. The other place I wanted to go to is the Environmental Protection Agency.
Okay.
Is another website of information. And so here it is.
Oh.
Here's the Brownfield. So I just went on the EPA.GOV webpage, and another wealth of information when you're working with real estate, but down here is Brownfields. They actually have a conference that you can go to.
In LA.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to go. If someone wants to send me, I'll go back to LA.
So you can definitely go there, but here's where they talk about all their grants that they're funding for a lot of the EPA funding on here. But I wanted to go to...
This is awesome. I can't wait to...
Right under the Brownfields here, we're going to...
So you find Brownfields on EPA.gov.
Right. And then...
Oh, you can look up radiation.
Everything. So it has all the EnviroFacts on land, toxics, compliance, waste, radiation, water. So everything, so...
I'm going to have a fun night. The EPA website.
So let's see what's happening in Arlington here. Let me go back to...
All right, everyone, if you're still listening, we'll see you in Grapevine at
Anyways,
5 p.m.
we will be there 1
Shortly.
hour, yeah, shortly after we leave here. But anyways, go visit on these websites. They provide a wealth of information for the Environmental Protection Agency. When you're developing property, go on TXDOT, TCEQ. Those government have provided a wealth of information, especially if you're developing property.
And
you can
you're
find
paying
hidden
for it.
opportunities.
Yes.
You can get some grants on some of these to clean up the city, especially if you're really into the environment.
Yes.
And go on the map under the Brownfields. It lists all of Texas that we were focused on, Texas, as far as all of the opportunities that you could possibly buy and redevelop it and get some money for that. So anyways, Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. We're going to help Shelby find her second location. So we will see you next Tuesday at 3 on Propelio TV. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batchkip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifeonaire.
Hey everybody, I'm Ryan with Propelio. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Turn on those notifications and stick around for more. We have tons of content like this all over our channel. So if you want to learn more about real estate investing, stick around, watch Propelio TV, and we'll see you later.